Hello, fine folks of the internet. Welcome to Small Stories Around the NFL. I'm your host, Dave, and we are diving into week 14. And in today's video, we're going to be jumping in to last week's wacky recap. Oh, hold on to your hats. It's going to be a weird one. So in the small story segment, I usually go over some developing stories, week to week. For example, we talk about big game matchups, underdog stories, some player news, etc. And often we do some highlights and we talk about last week if it was a weird one. And this year it's been this one often because last week was a weird one. Before we get going, please leave a like to support the channel if you're new to the channel. Subscribe if you'd like. That would be great and appreciated. And of course, if you are subscribing, hit the notification bell so you can know when I'm posting out more videos every week. We're doing 2 a week at this time frame, and people seem to be enjoying that. So, week 14's week 13 recap. This one I'm going to try and keep it quick, and let's go ahead and start recapping a very strange week 13. Boom. So, the Thursday night game was Dallas at New Orleans. Dallas wins the game by 10, 27-17. Honestly, I'm just going to hit these quick point forms. Dak and the boys look mediocre and a pretty easy win, even though it probably was harder. It looked harder than it should have been. The wide receiving core does look incredible. CeeDee Lamb, Cooper's back, even Michael Gallup, who had like a crazy wild touchdown. Those guys look good. Dak, I think, is looking good because of his receiving core, so good for him. New Orleans needs some weapons. They have no wide receivers. They've got their backfield all banged up, and now Mark Ingram's out next week too. So hopefully, we can get back. Oh my goodness, he's been out for so long. It's hard to think about. It's hard to think about it. Kamara. Oh my goodness. Wow. Brain fart. Okay. Hopefully Kamara can come back. Jeez. That being said, talking about running backs, I think that Tony Pollard looks amazing. I think Zeke's obviously not 100%, but they keep rolling him out there, even though Tony's looking better. On the other side of the ball, Taysom Hill, he had some nice runs. He had a sweet hurdle as well. If you guys didn't see that, you should probably check it out. And it's crazy to say that Dallas's defense kept him in this game and Stephon Diggs is a god. He's got 9 picks this year. Incredible. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. This one's super fast. Leonard Fournette, incredible sick one-handed catch for a touchdown. Gronk had 2 touchdowns. Brady had like 450 plus yards. I don't think that they can be stopped right now. Godwin had 15 catches for 143 yards. Mind you, Atlanta sucks, and that's my points for Atlanta. Atlanta sucks. But man, that division's still kind of open for wild card situation, which is nuts. The league leading Cardinals went on the road to Chicago, and I really hope you guys all saw that Bears fan just struggling to put that poncho on in the stadium. That was must see interwebbies. Awesome to see DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray back. Kyler Murray only had to throw the ball 15 times, but they were up. They destroyed the Bears. This game looks closer than it was. Murray had 2 rushing touchdowns, and James Conner's a beast. From what we're hearing, Justin Fields should be back next week. And thank goodness. I think they need him. They need him. I think the Bears are done for the year, but gotta keep playing. Play with heart. The Chargers at the Bengals. The Chargers, this score, 41-22, is kind of crazy. The Chargers led with they were up 24-0 out of nowhere. And then they just put it into coast. They put it into cruise control, and they let the Bengals come back. The Keenan Allen touchdown or 2-point conversion pass to Herbert was pretty neat. I enjoyed watching that. Burrow had a good game, minus a couple picks that really shouldn't have happened. His wide receiver gave it up. And honestly, they came back and they looked pretty good. Burrow's pinky got a little issue with it now. He's going to play through it going forward, so good for him. He's a tough guy. And Mixon fumbled the ball. Really, it's kind of what lost the comeback. And Chargers are 7-5. So are the Bengals. Oh, this game. Man, Jared Goff has a hot swimsuit model girlfriend. Good for him. That's just above the Lions winning their first game of the year in 364 days. Goff throws a touchdown pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the boys go crazy. Good for them, except they're the only team that upset my 5-team parlay. Thanks, Minnesota. You bastards. They did this without even having DeAndre Swift, which is awesome. Hawkinson got involved. Good for the Lions to do that. And Goff, what was Goff? Goff was 25 of 41 for 303 touchdowns. Carved the Vikings up. But on the other side of the ball, Justin Jefferson, 11 catches for 182 yards and a touchdown. Unreal. And they still lost the game. Bad. Colts slam the Texans. Texans are a really bad team. They're actually eliminated from playoff contention now. That's it. They're done. They're the first team guaranteed to now make it. Good for them. They need their picks. And Jonathan Taylor's still running the ball really well. That's it. Oh, the Giants at Miami. Miami is on a 5-game win streak, taking them to 6-7. 20-9. Their defense just smothered the Giants. But that being said, I don't think that Mike Glennon is really the answer. They looked brutal. They can't move the ball. I feel bad for some of those guys having to play on that offense. It's just absolutely atrocious to watch. It's crazy that Mike Glennon can make Daniel Jones look like a good quarterback. On the other side of the ball, Tua looks good, looks impressive, looks patient, looks accurate, looks boring as hell, but they're winning games. And the Dolphins' defense is tightening up, and they are in this AFC East race, which is crazy, crazy. Oh, this is a fun one. Philadelphia at the Jets. Gardner Minshew with a big win. The NFL needs more Gardner Minshew, and if you don't believe it, you're wrong. The Jets have never beat the Eagles, and I would say that Minshew dressing up as Maverick from Top Gun is why. Keep that streak alive. Goddard's stat line. Dallas Goedert was 6 for 6 for 105 and 2 touchdowns. Gardner Minshew, what was Gardner Minshew? 20 of 25 for 245. Like, the guy started off, I think his first 11 passes were not dropped. Like, 11 for 11 and 2 touchdowns. Like, unreal. The Jets jetted, and the Jets looked okay. That's all. That's my stats for them. They looked okay. They should be fighting for a bottom spot right now, right? Washington sneaks out a sneaky win against the Raiders. If you guys would have followed my bets game from Saturday, I hope you would have jumped all over this one. I took the Washington money line. I took the Washington +1. They won by a field goal. Johnson comes in. What's his first name? Johnson. Please hold. Oh, can I do this without messing things up? No. I think it's Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson comes in and kicks his first ever field goal to win the game, take the lead by 2 points. Unreal. Love it. Logan Thomas had an incredible one-handed touchdown, so good for him. Tyler Heineke was under duress on that throw, but it was terrible. It was way overthrown, and Logan Thomas went up, grabbed it, made it look like it was easy, and now he's out for the rest of the season with an injury. Sad times. I think Washington might beat Dallas this week. The Jaguars took on the Rams. Rams won 37-7 with ease. I still don't know if the Rams are good yet. I thought they were very good, and then they went on a 4-game loss streak, and then they get a game against the Jags to bounce back. So who knows? I don't know. Odell Beckham got a touchdown. His celebration was hilarious. He self-revived himself with a needle, pretty funny. He needed it. And Cooper Kupp, 129 yards and a touchdown. Nothing new there. Stafford still getting it done, even though he's always chronically broken inside. Oh, the Ravens go on the road to Pittsburgh and they lose a tight one, 19-20. This game was pretty boring. The first quarter was 0-0. Lamar started off with throwing interceptions again. He got sacked 7 times, 3.5 sacks from TJ Watt. God, he's a disgusting human being and a phenomenal NFL player. Big Ben tells his team that this is probably his last go. Great, Ben. I'm glad you finally accepted this, and have, you put it onto your what's that? Where they have a board, a wish board, or whatever the hell it's called, to make it all come true. Anyways, we've all known it. I'm glad you're coming out of the closet for it, bud. Boswell looked like awful hot trash, missing point after attempts. Boswell's trash. Pat Freiermuth, not trash. Crazy hands on the guy. Nice 2-point conversion in the game. Last 16, 17 seconds, the Ravens drive the ball down the field. Nice chunk passes from Lamar. They get the touchdown to Sammy Watkins. Good for him to catch a ball in the end zone. They go for it on 2 because that's what the Ravens do. John Harbaugh looks at Lamar and says, Lamar, do you want to do it? And of course, Lamar every single time, yeah, we want to go for 2, coach. They go for it. You can blame Lamar or you can blame Mark Andrews, but the ball just didn't connect. TJ Watt was up in their face, and rather than winning the game by 1, they lost the game by 1. Flip a coin. Sometimes you lose. Another rivalry match. San Fran at Seattle. Russell Wilson doesn't look completely awful anymore. His finger must be healed. It must be. He looked like he was playing way better football. His touchdown pass to Tyler Lockett was just like Russell Wilson, perfect pass, rainbow arc. Like he's back. At one point, they tied the game with a safety, so that's pretty neat. You don't see that happen very often. And Travis Homer runs in a touchdown on a fake punt. Unbelievable. That's something you would expect that the Niners would run against the Seahawks. The San Fran taking this loss puts them at a 6-6 spot. That's a pretty tough spot to be at in that division. The Niners kind of looked flat, minus George Kittle. What was Kittle's stats here? Kittle was Travis Homer at 21 points. That's crazy for fantasy. Kittle was 38.1 points. Oh my God. Look at him. 181 yards, 9 catches, 2 touchdowns. Oh. And then his 40-plus yarder that he caught, like tiptoeing along the sideline, was just pretty. Good for him. Oh, Denver at Kansas City. Kansas City continues their win streak. Everyone was giving them shit for being a bad team, and they were being a bad team. But I think they're in a spot now where they don't have to win all their games in September and October. They are ramping things up. They're more healthy than they were. Denver, you can never count Denver's defense out, but they just can't do anything on offense. Like, to put up 9 points against Kansas City, that's terrible. That's really bad. Your weapons are way too amazing to be putting up a 9-point game against Kansas City. Keep running the ball. Give the ball to Javonte Williams. That guy's a beast. The wide receiving core is one of the best in the league, but they need to get someone to throw him the ball. Drew Lock can't do it. Teddy Bridgewater can't do it. They got to figure it out. On the other side of the ball, Kansas City, they look good. They've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire back. They actually had some run game established. But in terms of what happened, 22 points, nothing. Hill had a regular game. Kelsey had and by regular I mean not regular for them. Low scoring, no very little catches, no touchdowns. That was a brutal Sunday nighter. Speaking of brutal games to watch, the Pats beat the Bills on the road with Mac Jones getting negative fantasy points because he was 2 of 3 for 19 yards. And he fumbled the ball. Just crazy. The wind was so crazy in Buffalo. Damian Harris busted a 64-yard rushing touchdown in the early in the first quarter. Nice run. And then literally it was just running the ball from there on out. Now, I have to say, I don't know why McDermott did not establish any kind of running plays for Josh Allen. I feel like that would have easily disrupted the Pats defense. The Pats are just, they look so good. 9-4, very quietly. That's a 7-game win streak for them, I do believe. And the Bills, remember, if you watch my last video, this is what they do. They did this. Expect going forward. Nice up on the up and up. All right, that's the recap. And now I want to just quickly jump into Thursday Night Football, do a quick preview for this week's game. Let's see if I can pull this up, actually. Boom, 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 and boom. Look at that. Pittsburgh at Minnesota, the 6-5-1 Steelers at the 5-7 Vikings. Big Ben's last season, as I mentioned. The Vikings got diced up by Jared Goff. So I think that Big Ben should be able to do the same here. and he was only sacked once last week. And I'm wondering if they can maybe keep the Vikings defense off of him. I think they probably will. TJ Watt is going to run rampant on Kirk Cousins. And I'm assuming that Justin Jefferson is going to get peppered. I'm just laying out a couple things in notes that I wrote down here. If you are in fantasy and you can play Osborne, play Osborne. With Thielen out for the rest of the remaining. Is he out for the season? I think he's out for the season with an ankle injury. Not great. Maybe he's coming back. No Dalvin Cook, no problem. Alexander Madison's getting things done in the backfield. Cousins is not really known to be a mobile quarterback, but I still think that the Vikings can win this game at home. The Vikings are favored by -3. So I'm going to take the Steelers to cover that spread. I think they'll keep it close, keep it a 2-point game. But the Vikings they've been in so many tight games. It's unbelievable. I think they're going to win the game by 1 or 2. I think that puts them at 11 games now that have been decided by 1 possession or less. Crazy. I'm very sorry if you're a Vikings fan. It's been a rough, sketchy year for you. The over-under is 43.5. Give me the over. I think that Big Ben's going to carve up this defense, and I think that Kirk Cousins has been playing well enough to actually put up some points as well, and they will be able to cover that over-under of 43.5. Take the over. And that'll do it, sports fans. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Small Stories Around the NFL. Again, I'm your host, Dave. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up, as it does help support the channel quite a bit, and all those YouTube algorithms and such, right? If you want to follow along and hear my stories and then my spreads and money lines and over/under picks of the week, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know when I'm pumping out the next video. That being said, good luck in Week 14. Week 13 was a hell of a ride. I'm out.